if there are fewer than usual open, and let's say the polling place where you normally vote in California is closed and not open, you got to find the substitute. Greyout Davis thinks you're too stupid to, and so he's trying to delay the election based on that, among many other things, all the way through March. They want the election to be next March rather than October. People have been waiting patiently on the phones. Let's go to Maple City, Michigan. Greg, hello, sir.
Hello, Rush. Gun-toting, stay-at-home dad ditto.
Thank you, sir. It's great to have you with us.
Yes. Hey, Arnold is a little rough around the edges. There's no doubt about that. But I think that's attractive to a certain point to the regular people. You know, you mentioned he comes across as a citizen, you know. Even though he's been in entertainment for such a long time, he does come across as being genuine, and I think that's what we need to get elected.
Okay, I'm just gonna take all this in before comment. I knew this was going to happen. Greg, thanks for the call. A citizen. He said that Schwarzenegger comes across a genuine citizen, is genuine, and that's what we need to get elected. Is just a genuine citizen. Mr. Greg said he's a genuine citizen. He's a little rough around the edges, but that's what makes him attractive. He's not a professional politician, is what Greg means. And since he's not a professional politician that he is, therefore attractive, and that's why he may be saying things here that he really not. We shouldn't take all this. He's not a professional. He may not know exactly what he's saying. We've got to cut him some slack. And so don't forget the Perot days. That I should have to say to you to remind you. Moving on to Brooklyn, here's Bob. Welcome to the EIB Network, Bob.
Hi, Rush. Hello?
Yes, sir. Hello.
Hi, Rush. How you doing?
Good.
I just think, with 100 people in the governor race, they might end up with the winner getting only like 13% of the vote. It seems the race is crying out to have a runoff election, which I don't think they're going to have.
No, it's not in the cards, not in the rules.
They probably need a runoff election. Also, originally I heard California had a $38 billion deficit. I thought that was for 1 year. Now I find out that's over 2 years, so $19 billion a year, and they're going to sell $14 billion worth of 20-year bonds at 5.2%. So I think I can understand what you were talking about. You were criticizing Schwarzenegger for the junk bond comment.
Well, no, I was not. He is being criticized for referring to the bond rating in California as a junk bond rating.
Oh.
He may be right about that, as it turns out, but the professionals, the quote-unquote
right
nitpickers who are starting to pick him apart, rather than doing it on the statements that he made last night, are trying to pick him apart on, he doesn't even know the difference between a junk bond and a regular bond. That was their point.
Oh.
I was just pointing that out.
Well, if California's paying 5.2%, I mean, that doesn't look like a junk bond percentage. Usually junk bonds are 14% or something like that. But my concern is, the day after the election, if the winner gets, 13% of the vote, people are going to wonder, what the hell did we just do?
No, they're wondering that now.
They're wondering that now. Well, they're going to wonder even more, when the winner wins with 13% of the vote.
That ain't gonna. They know the rules. That's gonna. Whoever the loser is, they're gonna be crying about that. There's already the pure democracy crowd. The people that think this is just rank amateurville are all upset because actual citizens are involved at the top tier. That's fine with me.
Save up to 60% on term life insurance without ever meeting with a life insurance salesman. At Life Quotes, a healthy non-tobacco user age 40 can buy a $500,000 life insurance policy for $20 a month. Age 45 for $33 a month. For free quotes, call 800-670-LIFE. 800-670-LIFE or visit lifequotes.com.
GTO 10-year best rate class form PT1000 underwritten by First Penn Pacific Life of Schaumburg, Illinois. Subject to state availability. Licensed in most states. California license OC3A8891.
This is Major General Tom Sadler, U.S. Air Force retired for Z-Max. Using Z-Max is one way to reduce our demand on foreign oil. In my opinion, Z-Max makes every vehicle more fuel efficient. It soaks into metal and reduces carbon and other deposits. Z-Max improves gas mileage in older vehicles and helps keep new cars performing at maximum efficiency. I use Z-Max in my vehicle, so I know it saves gas.
Available at Better Auto Parts stores everywhere or at zmax.com.
Be patriotic, display the flag, and God bless America.
WGBR News, I'm Thomas Vick reporting. West Nile virus is closer to Wayne County than you might think. The first human case of West Nile this year has been confirmed, and the victim is an Eastern North Carolina man. State health officials have not released the man's name. State Health Director Lee Devlin says the man is recovering at home, adding he was not hospitalized, but the person caring for him believed he had West Nile because of the symptoms of an unusual fever, headache, and other symptoms. A state lab confirmed the illness. West Nile is spread by mosquitoes that feed on infected birds, then by animals or humans. Most people bitten by infected mosquitoes do not become ill. The virus, though, can cause brain inflammation that can lead to death. People are advised to protect themselves from mosquito bites outside and remove standing water where the bugs can breed. A scare late yesterday afternoon after the Wayne County Sheriff's Department received a report of a possible drowning involving a child and 4 people missing. Search teams were sent out and all of the people were found in a boat on the Neuse River between the Lee plant and a nearby sand boat ramp. Authorities say the boat had a hole in it and somehow the people in the boat managed to keep it afloat and escaped serious injury. Goldsboro police contend they have some pretty solid evidence in their investigation of a case where a local man was robbed by thieves and his wife was sexually assaulted by one of the intruders. According to Goldsboro police reports last night around 10:30, the man and his wife approached their apartment at 200 East Lockhaven Drive as they usually do, and when they entered their apartment, they were ambushed by 3 black males who forced them to the floor. Police say while they have evidence they are studying closely, they need more information to solidify their case against the suspects. Both victims today are recovering from trauma. What was originally a suspected case of a woman falling off a bridge in Goldsboro today turned out to be just a brief time out to enjoy nature. Goldsboro firemen said they were riding down Ash Street and they saw a white woman sitting on the bridge rail at the Stony Creek Bridge. After they passed the bridge, one of them noticed in his rearview mirror the woman was no longer on the rail, so they turned around and went back to check it out. They could not find the woman, so police were called to the scene. Police say they later tracked down the lady, and she told them she was simply sitting on the bridge rail watching a turtle, and she meant no harm. Authorities say they were just glad everything was okay. That's a look at local news. I'm Thomas Vick reporting on 1150 WGBR.
Hear what everybody's talking about with the Rush Limbaugh Show on 1150 WGBR. Here's a look at the Regional Weather Center forecast.
Well, we should finish out the day with variably cloudy skies across the region. We're at fairly mild temperatures as highs range about 81 to 86 degrees. We could see some showers and a few thunderstorms redevelop across the region. A couple of those with locally heavy rain. Overnight tonight, partly to mostly cloudy still with areas of fog and a small chance of a thunder shower. Lows in the upper 60s to low 70s. Looks like clouds and sun mixed on Friday. Some scattered showers and storms around tomorrow with highs about 83 to 88. I'm Mike Moss at the Weather Center.
Wayne County's home for the North Carolina State Wolfpack is 1150 WGBR.
Schwarzenegger for governor.
He's admitted smoking marijuana, using steroids during his bodybuilding career. He's the son of a Nazi party member.
I will go to Sacramento and I will clean house.
He said he was prejudiced before overcoming those feelings by working with the Simon Wiesenthal Center in Los Angeles, and the dean of the center said an investigation of Schwarzenegger's late father conducted at the actor's request found no evidence of war crimes. Through his publicist, he's denied allegations published in Premier magazine in March 2001 that he sexually harassed women and committed infidelity.
No answer is good enough. Ray Davis, California governor.
Welcome back, my friends. Here we are in the midst of having more fun than a human being should be allowed to have still to come. There's a lot still to come. We got Howard Dean, Nikita Dean. We've got Al Gore and this insane speech. I haven't even had a chance. I've got these 2 bites. I haven't had a chance to read the transcript of these 2 bites. So I don't know if we have what I saw, but I'll tell you what I saw was just unbelievable. It's like the Democrats have forgotten the criticism that they made before the war. They've forgotten what they agreed to and signed and supported before the war. It is most strange. But anyway, we want to honor some of these people who've been patiently waiting on hold, who want to weigh in on the Schwarzenegger for gubernatorial race out in California. This is Jesse in Parma, Ohio. Hello.
How you doing, Russ?
Fine, thank you.
Okay, yeah, I think we ought to change that part of the Constitution so that people like Arnold can become president. I do, I'm serious.
Yeah, Jennifer Granholm, too. We need to make it that Jennifer Granholm can run for president. She's from Canada, you know, and she's governor of Michigan. She can't run either. It's not fair.
Well, I'll tell you what, it was created probably because our founding fathers just came back from England, and the last thing they wanted was another imported king. But now, you know, we live in a Johnny Walker kind of society, you know, where we have people that were born here that hate this country and people that immigrate or emigrate here and love this country. And we're eliminating a great range of people that would make great leaders just because of, I think, an archaic rule. And Arnold running for governor just kind of reminds me of that, you know? What do you think?
Well, theoretically, your argument is very persuasive, but not because of Arnold. Not because I would want to change it for a specific candidate.
Right.
But yeah, the fact that we are breeding so many homegrown, hate America people, and so many immigrants that come here who do love the country. But look, I'm troubled by it instinctively. So what I'm going to have to do is research the whole concept as written by the founders. There has to be a reason for it. These people were brilliant. The Constitution is one of the most amazing human documents in history, and I want to find out what the genesis of that is. I think it has to do more with more than just not wishing to import another king. There has to be a reason for it, and I want to find out if my instincts to leave it alone are sound. So I'm going to reserve my opinion on this, other than to say I like your theory. I very much do. But I'll tell you what, I'm troubled by there's an underlying theme here of what you're saying that we're already finding is being executed at the Supreme Court. It troubles me greatly. This whole business that we're now becoming an interconnected galactical society, a global society, and we need to get rid of these borders. The U.S. Supreme Court, Ruth Bader Ginsburg announcing this week that in a couple of cases this most recent term, they look to law outside the United States. Now, why that may sound fine to some people, there is the matter of the oath of office that they swore. They swore an oath to defend the Constitution. And the laws that the Supreme Court is supposed to adjudge are constitutional, are American laws, and whether or not they are American constitutional. We're not supposed to, the U.S. Supreme Court's not supposed to determine whether or not a law that Congress passes is congruent with a law in Europe somewhere. This is shocking. It really is shocking. It is, to me, it's outrageous. And there hasn't been any hue and cry about this at all. It's unprecedented. I remember, I guess during the impeachment, was it, that Arnold Specter talked publicly and openly about consulting Scottish law. It might not have been impeachment, something, but we're getting into really dangerous territory here. You know, we are a great country. We don't need to be importing a bunch of screwball leftist socialist laws, and we don't need to be opening up our presidency, I don't think, to people like Osama bin Laden or anybody else who just has to move here, live here long enough, and then maybe run for president. As I say, instinctively, I don't think it's a good idea to change it. So I'm going to find out the rut. Jocelyn Elder lingo there, the rut of that particular requirement that the President of the United States be born in this country, not just an American citizen. Jeff in Atlanta, you're next, and you're up on the EIB Network. Hello.
Hi there, Rush.
Hi.
I'm curious. I sense some obvious inherent
skepticism in your voice related to Schwarzenegger, and I'm curious what you would think, and if you would have had that same skepticism 30 years ago when another actor was running for governor of California. I haven't heard you draw any analogies between Schwarzenegger and Ronald Reagan, and I'm curious of your thoughts.
Sure, be happy to. Don't think there are any analogies. Everybody, they're actors, and that's it. Both were actors. Reagan had plenty of political experience. He was the director of the Screen Actors Guild. He had run campaigns. He'd been elected. And he had engaged in, it might have been small, but he engaged in a political process. But look, aside from that, aside from the fact that they're both governors, or rather both actors, I'm just looking at what Schwarzenegger said, and I go back and look at the things that Reagan said that caused people. Here's what happened with Reagan. You've heard of the kitchen cabinet. There were a number of people who heard Reagan traveling around making speeches in California about the state of things in California, and they urged him to run because they agreed so much with what he was saying. And that led to the Barry Goldwater speech for president campaign speech. That launched Reagan nationally. But Reagan was consistent. Reagan was conservative from the moment he opened his mouth until the day he left Washington, D.C. And if you're going to compare Reagan and Schwarzenegger, compare what they say. Don't compare their professions. And when you compare what they say, you would have never heard Reagan say that the purpose here of the government is to provide for all the people. You would have never heard Reagan say that we've got to get businesses back here so we get the tax base up to provide these social programs for daycare, after daycare, before daycare, before school, after this. Old folks, Reagan didn't say those kinds of things. If he had, there would have been no Reagan. There were already plenty of people out there saying those things. It was Reagan's ardent, unadulterated, pure conservatism that caused people to notice him, and he never wavered from it. He stuck with it throughout. He didn't stick his finger into the wind to see which way the winds were blowing and then get in the way of it so he could test the majority and join it. That's not what he did. I don't know that Schwarzenegger's doing that either, but I do know that a lot of people are out there saying, hey, it's the next Reagan. He's not the next Reagan. He may be the next actor elected governor of California, but he can't be the next president unless we do change the Constitution. But I gave you the quotes of what Schwarzenegger has said. He was embarrassed to be a Republican during impeachment. He is anti, or he's pro-abortion. He's pro-choice. I went through the list of things that he has been quoted as saying in magazines. So just on that basis alone, I don't see very many similarities at all to Schwarzenegger and Reagan. Ed, Deer Park, Washington, hi, and welcome to the EIB Network.
Ultra-mega dittos, Rush.
Thank you, sir.
That this country needs not a liberal Rush Limbaugh, but an extreme liberal dose of Rush Limbaugh. What I called about was that the heavy... Are you there, sir?
Yes, sir, right here. I'm mulling over your compliment. I'm dazzled by that. Thank you very much.
You bet. Thank you, sir. I think this recall is a godsend to Bill and Hillary and McCausland, and I think they're can't wait to get rid of Grayalt Davis because his policies, his heavy tax and social spending policies, basically are the same as Nikita Dean's at Hillary. And it's been not only a failure, but day in and day out, it's huge negative headlines. He's tried to blame Enron and Bush, but that hasn't stuck because Bush is the one that's been out there prosecuting the Enron executives, his administration. And I think Clinton's and McCausland have been doing the typical lying that the Democrats do, try and show, hey, we're behind you and all this stuff, but secretly now pushing their...
Wait a minute, I don't understand your thing. What's in it for the Clintons if a Democratic governor is recalled and defeated and replaced with a Republican?
Well, here's what could happen. A Democrat, one of their guys could still win this. And if Arnold wins this, and he, as you said, is a Bloomberg tax and spend guy, and...
But the Clintons aren't going to like that. There's an R on beside his name. That's all that matters here.
But they can blame him, and down the line, they can elect another Democrat saying, see how these policies like Bloomberg has in New York.
I'm gonna think about this. I'm having a tough time seeing how the Clintons benefit when a Democrat is disgraced like this. A public recall. I mean, this is a successful, if this works, this would be the equivalent of a successful impeachment of a governor, much like the one tried versus Clinton that failed. I mean, not actually an impeachment, it's a recall, but it's the same thing. They're going to get rid of this guy precisely because of his policies, because of who he is, and because he's not very likable. And to the extent that, the Clintons out there on record, I mean, it's all over the news. Clinton's out there working day and night to save, what's-his-face, Gray Davis. And if Gray Davis is not saved, does that hurt or harm Clinton? Look, you may be onto something. I haven't looked at it that way, and I'll consider it. Was it the Clintons? Nothing's as it appears. I understand that that's all possible. Anyway, let me take a break here because of the constraints of the programming format and the official broadcast clock, but we'll be back and continue in a moment.
Rated the #1 talk radio personality of all time, Rush Limbaugh, on the EIB Network.
My friends, I want to talk to you about pressure. Life can be full of it, and just about the last thing we need when we're trying to get some sleep is more pressure. I'm talking about pressure points caused by the metal springs inside your mattress. They can make you toss and turn as you try to get comfortable or cause your arm or leg to become numb, maybe even fall asleep. I know. I used to wake up to find my arm had gone numb, but then I started sleeping on the Sleep Number bed by Select Comfort. The Sleep Number bed uses a revolutionary air chamber design, so there are no metal coils pushing back at you, creating that uncomfortable pressure. You're literally sleeping on air. Adjust the firmness to your sleep number. Lower numbers are softer, higher numbers are more firm. I am a 65. Now, plus on the Sleep Number bed, each of you can have a different sleep number. So you both get your own perfect level of firmness on the very same bed. Ease the pressure in your life. Call 1-800-GET-A-BED for a free video and brochure. 1-800-GET-A-BED. I know you'll like what you see, folks. Call them 1-800-GET-A-BED today.
When property is at risk and lives are at stake, we get moving. We're the Air Force Reserve. Our mission, an aerial assault on Mother Nature's most daunting adversary, forest fires. Armed with C-130s and the finest reservists, we stop fires in their tracks by dropping thousands of gallons of fire retardant in just seconds. Where there are citizens in need, the Air Force Reserve is there, working to save our forests, to save our communities, and to save lives. Air Force Reserve aerial firefighting may be a part-time job, but it's a full-time experience, and just one of many exciting careers in the Air Force Reserve. Call 800-257-1212 for more information. That's 800-257-1212, or visit us online at afreserve.com. Air Force Reserve, above and beyond.
School or place of work. Get your friends and co-workers involved. Visit secondharvest.org to find out how you can help. Together, we can end hunger in America.
If you enjoy down-home bluegrass and gospel music, tune in Chester Thompson's Old Time Radio Jamboree every Saturday from 8 until noon and Sunday from noon till 3 p.m. Now, I guarantee you'll catch yourself tapping and clapping and slapping and snapping along with the best in bluegrass and gospel. Chester Thompson's Old Time Radio Jamboree, Saturday from 8 until 12 and Sunday from noon till 3 p.m. on 1150 WGBR.
Hear Dr. Joy Brown, weekdays 9 till noon on 1150 WGBR.
Hubba, hubba, dooba, dooba. Rush Limbaugh with half my brain tied behind my back just to make it fair. A harmless, lovable little fuzzball, famous radio raconteur, executing assigned host duties flawlessly. We go back to the phones. This is Mike in Old Saybrook, Connecticut. Welcome, sir.
Rush, thanks very much. It's a pleasure talking to you. I'm a long-time listener since '92, but I decided this issue is too important to pass up. I just had to call in. You know, you're right. It seems like we as Republicans, as soon as we get ahead anywhere, we begin to get scared and start to take on the same tactics as the Democrats do. I mean, I believe conservative across this, as you would say. Why?
We are losing the connection, ladies and gentlemen. This is a cell phone connection that has gone sour on us. But I have a little insight here into what Mike was going to say because of what they put on the subject line here, the call screen computer. Oh, you just took it away. What was the leap? He was talking about, he said, Rush, I agree with you, put principle above celebrity. That's what it was. That was his point. That we know he was eventually going to get to. Rush, you're right, putting principle over celebrity. My friends, let me expound upon, some of you may not like this, but I have a problem with many people in our movement, club, party, whatever. And I call it the Republican Hollywood syndrome. There are some conservatives who seem to be so insecure in their own confidence of the belief system that they have, that they need it validated by celebrities or Hollywood types. I can show you in my email, anytime a Hollywood person utters one sentence that is conservative, I am overrun with emails that begin, Rush, you should hear, you need to get the clip, you need to play it, you should see what blah blah said. And I cringe when I see, we don't need to be validated by anybody, celebrities or anybody else. You know, we don't, where's our confidence here? And I cringe when I see that. I think there may be a little of that going on here on the Republican side. And it's, you know, these are, celebrities or not, they're people. And celebrities or not, one of these people may end up being a governor. You know, and when it's all said and done, I mean, yeah, this is a fun little process now. It may look like a little bit of a carnival, but yeah, all this stuff does matter at the end of the day, to use an overused, tired cliche. But I cringe. I cringe when I see, Rush, you want to see what they're saying? Well, and then some of them I write back and I tell them what I just said and they say, no, Rush, you misunderstand, the word's spreading, they're coming around. No, that's, and besides, if that's all that's happening, what's the reason for all this excitement? If they're just coming around. I mean, what does it matter that 5 or 6 people in Hollywood may all of a sudden agree with what all of us think and have thought all of our lives? What does it really matter? Because, Rush, they can persuade a lot of people. Friends, you know, look, all that's fine if you keep everything in perspective. But if it causes you to relax your principles and standards just because you want to say or see some highfalutin celebrity, and I'm not really talking about Schwarzenegger here now, it's just a general overall concept that I think, well, I know, it just bothers me a bit, and it has for quite a while. I mean, even the news media has orgasms over these people too, and it's just, I guess, it's a common trait of human nature. But I would like to see us do a better job at controlling ourselves on this. Now, we'll be back. Stay with us and don't go away.
You're right on target with the EIB Network. Get in the zone. AutoZone.
Hey, when you've got a job to do on your car, getting the right part means you've got to get in the zone. AutoZone. Because AutoZone's got the quality parts you need, the name brands you know and trust, and the low prices you depend on. Plus, the pros at AutoZone really know their stuff. They'll help you get the job done right the first time. So don't start another repair job until you get in the zone. AutoZone.
Get in the zone. AutoZone.
This report is sponsored by Pfizer and Viagra, sildenafil citrate. You've seen the signs as they leave the doctor's office. The spring in the step, the look of relief, spontaneous whistling. The technical term for this condition is, what took so long on this? In layman's terms, it's what happens when you finally ask your doctor about Viagra. To experience the skipping, whistling, and sense of relief, ask your doctor about Viagra, and if a free sample is right for you. To learn more, go to Viagra.com.
We're all going back. We're all going back. Saturday at Goodies. It's the big one, and everything for back to school is on sale. Shop 8 a.m. to midnight for 16 hours of big store-wide savings. For one big day, get one extra low price on Junior's Famous Maker Fashion Jeans, just $19.99. And Junior's and Young Men's Levi's Red Tab Jeans, just $26.99. If you're looking for the alternative to denim, check out Junior's Famous Maker Twill and Canvas Cargo and Utility Pants. Specially priced at only $19.99, one day only. And for the guys, get OCI Fashion Twill Pants 50% off. Plus Saturday only, take an extra 50% off our final summer clearance. And just in time for back to school, use your Goodies credit card and your payments will be deferred for 90 days. Some restrictions apply. See store for details. Think big for back to school. Saturday at Goodies. It's the big one. We're all going back. We're all going back. We're all going back. Some exclusions apply. Entire stock not included unless indicated.
How do I coach an athlete to swim like a fish?
To run like the wind.
And how do I give that athlete an unbending will to succeed? I do it with dedication.
And training.
And pride, because our athletes are Special Olympics athletes. If you're at least 18 years of age and have a love for sports, Special Olympics wants you to share your special skills with our athletes.
Call Special Olympics at 1-800-700-8585.
Be a coach. Inspire greatness.
Special Olympics. Thank you.
The things that monopolize our attention, like award show fashion.
Oh, the aluminum foil creation Elise is wearing is simply stunning. With the poor darling is literally basting under those lights.
Forget about fashion parades. The American Optometric Association wants you to pay attention to this. If you have diabetes, you are at higher risk for eye diseases that can lead to blindness. Make sure you have a comprehensive eye examination once a year. Hey, it's your only pair of eyes.
Hear Michael Savage weeknights at 7 on 1150 WGBR.
And Los Angeles, back to the phones we go. Art, welcome to the EIB Network, sir. Hello.
Hello, Brush.
Yes, sir. Hello, Art.
Funny, this is Harry. I heard a commercial about 10 minutes ago on the KFI radio station here during one of your breaks that's a Gray Davis for Governor commercial. It's really a smear campaign. They start off by talking about Schwarzenegger and his father belonged to the Nazi Party, and about how the Simon Wiesenthal Center had to say certain things about him, and then they talked about his infidelity, which I find kind of amusing, is that I thought President Clinton set the precedent that smoking a little pot and a little infidelity really had no bearing on whether or not you were fit to lead.
That spot you heard that spot already? Gray Davis has a spot running.
I heard it 10 minutes ago, Raj.
That's incredible. That is, I cannot believe it. Nazi Party? His dad's from the Nazi Party?
It said specifically.
Art, thanks. I didn't know about this. I can't believe that the Gray Davis campaign got in action this fast.
Arnold Schwarzenegger for governor?
He's admitted smoking marijuana, using steroids during his bodybuilding career. He's the son of a Nazi Party member.
I will go to Sacramento, and I will clean house.
He said he was prejudiced before overcoming those feelings by working with the Simon Wiesenthal Center in Los Angeles, and the dean of the center said an investigation of Schwarzenegger's late father, conducted at the actor's request, found no evidence of war crimes. Through his publicist, he's denied allegations published in Premier magazine in March 2001 that he sexually harassed women and committed infidelity.
No answer is good enough. Gray Davis, California governor.
This is the EIB Network, and thanks. Welcome back from that commercial spot break. We got to take another real quick here, but we will be back.
Because she's never happy with how she looks. Because she cracks jokes and sometimes no one laughs. Because she has so much promise and doesn't even know it. Because she just needs a little more encouragement, and if you don't, she might get left behind. Why should you be a Girl Scout volunteer? Because of her. Girl Scouts, we need volunteers for every girl, everywhere. Call 1-800-GS-USA for you. Exercise and good nutrition are essential to your good health.
That's why California raisins make so much sense. They're free of fat and cholesterol, low in sodium, high in antioxidants, and contain fiber. And raisins are a great quick source of natural energy. They're easy to carry, so you can take them along during bike rides, runs, and other workouts. Remember, for a quick natural energy boost during exercise and a great taste anytime, bring along the California raisin. Just a handful a day provides better health and nutrition.
1150 WGBR Goldsboro, a locally owned and operated Curtis Media Group station.
CNN Radio News. I'm Rachel Lee. A car bomb exploding outside the Jordanian embassy in Baghdad leaves at least 10 people dead. Secretary of State Colin Powell says it strengthens U.S. resolve against terrorism. And as Dick Giuliano reports from Washington, Powell expresses confidence U.S. military commanders will make progress against attackers and improve security.
Secretary Powell says he telephoned his counterpart in Jordan to express regrets over the bombing of Jordan's embassy in Iraq. Speaking to Washington-based foreign reporters, Powell promised that U.S. generals in Iraq will eventually gain the upper hand over those mounting attacks.
Slowly but surely, they will isolate them, get them, and bring the security situation under control.
Powell says there is also hope and promise in Iraq with Saddam out, schools open, and the infrastructure and economy being rebuilt. Dick Giuliano, CNN Radio, Washington.
Liberian President Charles Taylor promises he'll step down on Monday, but will only say he'll leave the country soon.
My movement and what I do is a matter of security. I'm not going to discuss it publicly, but I can assure the world that my words that I have given will be carried out.
Nigeria has promised to give him exile. Liberian lawmakers have formally approved Taylor's decision to step down. Meantime, West African peacekeepers have arrived in Monrovia to loud cheers from the people. The field of candidates for governor of California is growing by the day. Lieutenant Governor Cruz Bustamante is the first prominent Democrat to join the race. Bustamante says he didn't plan on running.
I did not want to get involved with this. I said from the very beginning, I was hoping that the recall would not take place.
It looks like the state insurance commissioner will also file to run. Survivors of last year's bombing attack in Bali cheered when one of the bombers was convicted and sentenced. Even the bomber seemed happy. He laughed and gave a thumbs up. This is CNN.
Hurry to Kohl's Super Saturday. This Saturday only from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. Come in and save on hundreds of items store-wide. Save 40 to 50% on Union-based tops and bottoms for young men, juniors, and kids. Enjoy 20 to 50% savings on a great selection of shoes. Take an extra 10% off all fine jewelry, already 60% off. Plus, save 50% on all solid bath towels, accent rugs, and bed pillows. It's Super Saturday at Kohl's this Saturday only. Or shop anytime at Kohl's.com. Kohl's. Shop happy, sleep happy.
As a realtor, Linda Norton from Colorado sells houses for a living, but providing affordable housing is what she really loves.
I just really appreciate that she had the vision and the courage to make this a reality.
Thanks to Linda's efforts, over 50 senior citizens have a new affordable place to call home.
The code of ethics for me is the center of being a realtor. It's what makes sure that we're doing the best we can for the people that we serve.
Across the country, realtors are making their communities a better place to live. We're realtors. Real estate is our life.
Former Vice President Al Gore repeats his pledge not to run for president next year. Gore says the party has strong candidates committed to improving the country.
I'm not going to join them, but later in the political cycle, I will endorse one of them because I believe we must stand for a future in which the United States will again be feared only by our enemies.
Making his first public policy address in nearly a year, Gore blasts the Bush administration's handling of Iraq. Accusing them of abusing power, he also calls on the president to rein in Attorney General John Ashcroft and Defense Secretary Donald Rumsfeld. Attorney General Ashcroft is asking federal prosecutors to report to the Justice Department whenever a judge hands down a light sentence. A memo to the prosecutors also tells them to be ready to appeal more sentences if a decision is made by lawyers in Washington. 3 elderly women have died from West Nile virus in Colorado. The state leads the nation in confirmed cases. This is news from CNN Radio. Georgia Georgia prison officials are considering adding more inmates to the medical reprieve program. Pat St. Clair has the story from Atlanta.
With budget tightening a priority, Georgia's Pardons and Paroles Board is considering giving more sick inmates early medical reprieves. Spokeswoman Heather Hedrick says last year the prison system spent hundreds of thousands of dollars treating a woman imprisoned for shoplifting who eventually died.
The amount that she had shoplifted was less than $500. However, the state did not release her, and she ended up costing $340,000 for the state to pay for her medical expenses.
Hedrick emphasizes inmates are only released if they pose no threat to public safety. Pat St. Clair, CNN Radio, Atlanta.
Rare albino bison has been born in North Dakota. Named Mystical, is living on the Big Sky Buffalo Ranch near Granville. The owner's granddaughter says the calf is sensitive to sunlight but is doing well. I'm Rachel Lee. This is the CNN Radio Network.
Hey, this is Jack with Carpetland, 2311 Wayne Memorial Drive, Goldsboro, North Carolina. If you're thinking about new carpet, vinyl, laminate, or hardwood flooring this come see us. We have carpet and vinyl in stock as low as 59 cents a square foot, and laminates and hardwood as low as 99 cents a square foot. We also have hundreds of samples and a warehouse full of remnants. So come see us at Carpetland, 2311 Wayne Memorial Drive, Goldsboro. And remember, wall-to-wall beauty is wall-to-wall happiness.
Here's a look at the Regional Weather Center forecast.
Well, an upper-level trough off to our west will keep things a little unsettled across the region for the next couple of days still. We'll see partly to mostly cloudy skies this afternoon with a chance of showers and a few thunderstorms in spots, a couple of those with heavy downpours. We'll look for highs around 81 to 86. Overnight tonight, variably cloudy. We'll have areas of fog and a small chance of an overnight thunder shower. Lows in the upper 60s to low 70s. Friday will bring a mix of clouds and sunshine. Again, some scattered showers and storms likely with highs about 83 to 88. I'm Mike Moss at the Weather Center.
Here, coast to coast with George Norrie. Overnight on 1150 WGBR. It's 2:06. Now back to more Rush Limbaugh on 1150 WGBR.
Yes, I'm here, ladies and gentlemen. Had to clear the phlegm from the official broadcast pipes of the lead personality of the EIB Network, Rush Limbaugh. Nice to have you back, folks. The telephone number is 800-282-2882. Our email address is rush@eibnet.com. Hustler magazine publisher and would-be California governor Larry Flint has been sued for... What a day. Larry Flint's been sued for sexual harassment by a former employee who claims that she found sex toys in the company dishwasher. Stand by for the Al Gore speech, by the way. Elizabeth Renee Raymond, the former executive assistant to two top officers of Flint's company, sued for sexual harassment and wrongful dismissal from her job Monday, the same day that Flint announced he was running in California's October gubernatorial recall election under the slogan, "Smut Peddler Who Cares." Renee Raymond, Elizabeth Renee Raymond, who was fired from her job a year ago, claims that Flint fostered a hostile work environment. She said in the lawsuit that she had found sex toys in the company dishwasher that were used on the prostitutes who visited his office. Sex toys in the dishwasher that were used on the prostitutes who visited his office. She was shortly dismissed shortly after complaining to her supervisors. Flint Publications did not immediately return calls for comment on the lawsuit. I know, cleanliness is next to godliness. Let me find something else. This is going to lead me into this. Did you see page 6 today? It's with Heidi Fleiss. You see this? Let me find this, folks. I got the wrong stack here. Bear with me. I had no idea I was even going to get to this. I had it just standing by in case, and it's somewhere here. Stand by, because it's going to go. Yep, here we go. This is from page 6 in the New York Post. And now we segue from the Larry Flint fired employee suing for sexual harassment because she claims there were sex toys in the company dishwasher. Heidi Fleiss. This is what Heidi Fleiss has to say in the new issue of Legal Affairs magazine. The former Hollywood madam says prostitution's a dream business for illicit entrepreneurs who want to make a quick buck. Here are some quotes. When I was in a sex trade, I ran an 85% cash business. I dealt with the richest people on earth, men who run countries and this country's top businesses. Most of them preferred to pay in cash. The actor Charlie Sheen was one of my few customers who wrote checks. But looking back, I now realize he was a class act. He paid his bills, the girls liked him, and he was well endowed. Heidi Fleiss also explains why she didn't last long as a hooker. She said, I'm glad I learned the business in the trenches, but my career as a hooker was short-lived. I'm not the California dream girl sexually. I'm lazy. The profession didn't play to my strengths, which lie in business, not in bed. He said prostitution should be legalized throughout the United States. The laws are currently written by and for men. I've been out of the business for 10 years, she said, but I still hear stories of men who hit women, walk out without pay.
Halfway through, or more than halfway through, Larry Burkett's book, Whatever Happened to the American Dream, and he really lays in the EPA, and this EPA is behind us, by the way.
Yeah.
And so basically, I'm in a 5,000 square foot warehouse here, and it's split into 2 office buildings and production space.
Right.
And I've got 5 in-house employees. My neighbors have 3 in-house employees. Everybody smokes. We're all trying to quit, and we do ridiculous things to try to quit smoking. However, if this bill passes and we get more than 2 visitors a week, basically they can arrest us.
For smoking?
Yes.
Now, in addition to the obvious conclusions one would draw, why isn't this an encroachment on freedom? I mean, it's one thing for there to be legislation that says you can't smoke in a public building, but in a commercial building, a business, private building, you can't smoke in there? Who says? Federal government says? In the land of the free and the home of the brave? That's the obvious conclusion, but there's another. Before the Fifth Reich, Robert Reichauer ruled today that indeed we had a tax increase instead of insurance premiums. Before that, who were to be the number one financiers of the health bill? Smokers. Taxes on tobacco. Do we therefore not need them smoking? If we're going to buy tobacco, raise tax revenue, do we not need them smoking? We need to encourage their smoking, do we not? We're not making it difficult for them.
Are you spending double what you need to for your life insurance? Find out. American Republic Insurance Company, rated A+ by AM Best, offers lowest cost term life insurance you buy direct from the company. $1 a day buys a 35-year-old man $355,000 of coverage. Rates guaranteed level for 10 years. Tell us your age and the amount you need. We'll send a no-obligation quote immediately. Stop overspending. Call 1-800-901-LIFE. That's 1-800-901-LIFE. Available in... Up.
This is WGBR News, Goldsboro's very